As you know, Andy and I with Echo Church are super intentional about helping people discover their purpose. And one of our favorite things that we get to observe is watching people like you live out their purpose. And when we think about the collision of finding your place and finding your people and finding your purpose, it's you. And so I would just love it if we can just unpack that a little bit and have you share what you get to do every single day.
I am Jen Toller. I am a labor and delivery nurse at Mayo. I have 4 kids, married to my husband, Zach. I think all my journey in becoming a nurse was very planned. It was God definitely hand in hand in my becoming a nurse from the very beginning. I was all ready to go to college, and my grandfather passed away. And in the course of him becoming sick, I had a really poor experience with a nurse who basically told me, it's okay, he doesn't know you're here anyway, you can go home and he's gonna pass away. And I left that hospital room and knew I was meant to be a nurse. I never wanted a patient or a family to go through something like that ever. To ever feel not supported, that just wasn't gonna happen. As a labor and delivery nurse, every day is different. You can have a mom who's coming in for a normal, spontaneous labor or an induction of labor, a mom who's gonna have a C-section. It's always, the days in labor and delivery are really good, really good, but there's also those really bad days. And I am also part of the bereavement team. And so I take care of those moms and dads and families who have suffered a pregnancy or infant loss. And I take care of them on their really bad days. So when Zach and I got married, we got married in May. We found out we were expecting in July. In November, I just wasn't feeling well. Zach and I went to our small local doctor, and he immediately knew something wasn't okay. And I essentially was going into labor at like 22 weeks pregnant. And they stopped labor, but we knew if something happened and I delivered, there was nothing that they could do. They were too early. And on a Saturday morning, November 12th, I delivered our boys. They were both live born. They both had a heartbeat. They were with us for about an hour. And then we had to say goodbye. And it was that moment that has prepared me for what I do for bereavement care. Because I walk parents through saying hello and goodbye to their baby in the same day. After we had our twins, it took a while. It took a lot of years for me to be okay with what I had gone through. But the thing with it is, he always uses something like that for good. He didn't want me to go through that. He didn't want Zach and I to lose our twins, but he's using it for good today. I got into bereavement care so that I could be a light. And I tell every patient, right now you're in a valley and it's dark and you feel alone, but I promise you, someday you'll either hit the summit or you'll reach the peak of that mountain and you'll say, look how far I've come. And I've walked that dark valley. I want them to see me and say, she's gone through it and she's okay. And why do I do what I do? Why do I pray before a patient goes to surgery? Why do I hold their hand and worry about charting and all of that later? Because in that moment, that's what matters. In that moment, I want to be Jesus for them in that moment, because that's what they need. I am Jen. Hear me roar.